back, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. It is Sunday. That means it's time for Crimes Against Folk. How's everybody doing?
I'm good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm pretty good, actually.
My sister just delivered me a burrito.
What?
I know. How nice is that?
Burrito delivery.
I know. The timing's a little weird because we just started the podcast, but and she just brought me chips and a napkin, too.
I
have the best sister ever.
I don't care if you eat on the podcast. You should go ahead and do that.
You guys want to see? I mean, I know people
see what it is.
listening
Ooh.
Can't see, but if you're watching, look at this gorgeous burrito that she made in my kitchen. It's pretty nice of her.
Imagine, if you're just listening, you can imagine what an awesome burrito and chips looks like.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah, just imagine an awesome burrito and chips, and that's pretty much what it looks like. This is off to a good start.
Yeah, it is. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We have a pretty fun show today. We're speaking with the one, the only Troy Powers.
Yay!
Who I have never met, but I have heard tons about from Ashley.
That's right. He's such an awesome human, an incredible songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
You guys might know him if you're fans of Witherword, because he co-wrote the song Burn the Roses with me, which was on our album The Anchor.
Yep.
He also co-wrote we co-wrote probably hundreds of songs together, honestly, through my time in Nashville. He was one of my favorite songwriters there besides Ed. So we wrote together a lot, and we just became really, really good friends. And, you know, since I moved away from Nashville, I miss Troy. So it's so nice to have him on the show tonight. And it's super exciting. It's a super exciting time for Troy right now, because he wrote, and I'm going to have him tell the full story, but I'll give you guys a little teaser of it. So he wrote in 1989, he wrote a song with, he was in a band called Vince Vance and the Valiants, and he co-wrote a song with Vince called All I Want for Christmas Is You. And before you get too excited and go, I love that Mariah Carey song, it's not that one. That one came later. Before Mariah Carey released All I Want for Christmas Is You, there was another hit Christmas song called All I Want for Christmas Is You, released by Vince Vance and the Valiants. And it's a beautiful Christmas song. It's kind of got like bluesy undertones. It's really, really cool. And it's always been a little bit overshadowed by the Mariah Carey song, which is a little bit frustrating, I think, for Troy, especially considering it is a hit Christmas song. But what's super cool is this year, as in November, it was just cut and released by Kelly Clarkson.
Ooh.
Yeah. So he is now a hit songwriter once again with the same song by Kelly Clarkson. But he's going to come on and tell you guys the full story. We want all the dirt on this, and from start to finish. And I was going to tell it to you guys, and then I figured, wait a minute, why would I tell it to you guys? Let's just see if Troy can come on and tell it to you himself. And he agreed. So we're so excited that he's coming on today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear this story too, because I've heard about that. I've heard this story from you before.
Yeah.
So I would like to hear it, how he kind of came up with the song and wrote and everything. So that's going to be fun. So we'll have him on a little bit later.
Yep.
Also, we want to first of all thank our patrons for supporting us. Thanks everybody for joining me on the pre-show today. That was fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Ed, for taking that.
You bet. Thanks to our producer level patron, Alice Williams. We really appreciate your support. If you want to become a patron of our podcast, you can head to patreon.com/crimesagainstfolk. We are giving you a ton of stuff at the $5 level. And then you can, if you feel like donating more, you can, but we've got lots of stuff coming out, in the next few months for y'all. Check it out and, feel free to sign up, and then you can keep getting extra stuff alongside this cool podcast. We also want to thank our new sponsor, EV. And as you can see, we both now have our shiny new EV RE20 Black microphones. These are brand new. This is something they just released, I think, a week ago. or something like that.
Very recently. Yeah.
The RE20 has been around for a long time. I've used them before. It's kind of a studio staple. It's one of those microphones that if you're running a studio, you kind of have to have one. And they're used a lot in broadcasts. They're used for kind of a lot of things. And they've always kind of had this little olive beige-ish color. And they just released this black variant, which I think looks really cool.
I love it.
But yeah, this is really exciting. So they are a sponsor of the podcast. They sent along these microphones for us to use, and we really appreciate it. We love them.
They sound gorgeous.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can tell. I definitely can. I think
too.
Ed and I both sound much crisper and cleaner, and it's nice just to kind of have a more balanced sound. Like I feel like in the microphone I had before, I had to be more wary of where I was in proximity to the microphone, and I don't have to worry about that as much in this one. I think it's just picking up my highs and my mids and my lows perfectly. I don't even have to balance too much. It's wonderful.
It does. I think it has a wider pickup pattern than your Blue does, and that's just different. It's not that it's better or worse. It's just different.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's used for a different purpose. So, but yeah, we're really super excited that Evie agreed to sponsor us. So
Yeah.
Thanks to Evie.
Thank you, Evie. And I can't wait to try. I mean, I know you can use these to record a lot of things. Like they're great for podcasting microphones, but Ed was talking to me before the show started that you can use them to record drums. And
Oh, yeah.
and you can. I'm going to try them out on my why can I still not think of the word? You just told it to me. Why is that so hard? I need to eat my burrito.
You do.
I can't think of the word organ.
I've used it on a alto sax before.
Oh, cool.
Because I ran out of other mics to use, and it was at the Jazz Workshop, and I'm like, well, you know what? This is the only other mic I can use on it. So I'm like, well, let's do it. And man, it sounded good. I was really surprised. I'm like, oh, I might start using this for saxophone more often.
That's cool.
Yeah. It helped that it was Rashawn Barber. I mean, that guy is a beast on the saxophone, but it still sounded really good. So yeah, I've used it on a bunch of stuff before. So I'm kind of happy that we were able to get these. So
Yeah. Exciting stuff.
but first of all, let's start with a little show and tell, eh?
Let's do it.
It was Ashley's turn this week, and she sent me over a great photo
Yeah.
from our experience in Germany. And why don't you tell them a little bit about this photo, Ash?
So this is a photo that it kind of happened on accident. This is like one of those chance meeting things. You know, it's with this is our friend Prita and
Priya.
Priya. Thank you. Do you remember her last name, Ed?
Parkalar, I believe.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, Priya Parkalar. She is an opera singer from the United States, actually. And funny enough, we met her in Berlin on a train. So last summer, Ed and I, we were on our 2.5-month European tour. And it was just the very beginning of the tour. And what we decided to do for this tour was film a documentary. And originally the plan was just to document our travels and document our shows and kind of just the experiences we had along the way. And we were only about a week into this, and I was already getting very bored. I was like, is this an exciting enough topic for not just us, but also for our audience? Because yeah, band on tour and the experiences we have, that is interesting, but what's the gut of this? What is the soul of this documentary? What are we trying to do? What is our mission? And we were in Berlin, and we were standing outside of the train talking about our options of what we could do to kind of just dig in a little bit deeper. And I had recalled a conversation that I had with my friend, our friend Sylvia Legat, who you guys might remember because she was actually a guest on our show not too long ago from Germany. And she and I were talking about is music a language? And I can't exactly remember how it came up. Something about a Mundo Lingo events that we were going to.
Didn't you feel like you were like, oh, I only speak one language. I feel like out of place here.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because she took me to Mundo Lingo, which is an event held every Wednesday in Cologne, Germany, as well as world. And she wanted me to go with her. And I said, well, I only speak one language. And she said, no, you don't. You speak music. You speak two languages. And I was like, okay, ha, ha, ha. But that kind of sparked this very deep conversation with Sylvia. I believe Ed was part of that too. And we were talking, we're like, so when Ed and I were in front of the train station, I brought that up. I said, what about, is music a language? What if we, along our travels as we're playing these shows and meeting new people, what if we ask these people if they think is music a language? And Ed thought about it and he's like, you know what? I really love this idea. So we got on the train and I pulled out my little handheld recorder and I said, aw, thanks. Sister just delivered me a brownie. This is getting better by the second, you guys. I love this podcast. Anyway, I pulled out my little hand. Ed, let's just break the ice on this. Like, what do you think that music is a language? And I pointed the recorder at Ed and he went on this really long, very passionate rant about it. And the train was pretty packed. In front of us there was this very, very gorgeous woman and then a few other people. And then after I pressed stop on the recorder, the woman leaned in and she said, excuse me, what are you guys talking about? Like, what are you doing? And we said, well, we're filming a documentary on his musical language. And she said, well, I'm a musician. And I said, do you want to be in our documentary? And she said, yes. So it really went as simple as that. So we took down her number and we decided we were going to meet later that afternoon, and we found a park and we met her in the park and we walked around with Priya and we had a wonderful conversation with her, and she had some really beautiful things to say. And she's an opera singer, absolutely incredible opera singer. And then after the interview, we all went out and had a little bite to eat, and we just had such a great time. It was such a wonderful experience. And we've been staying in touch ever since. So that's our friend Priya in the photo, and yeah, you guys can find her music somewhere.
Troy keeps calling.
Who is calling you?
Troy.
Oh, maybe you want to text him and say we're running behind. Okay. Yeah, we are going to have Troy on here in just a minute. We're running a little bit behind, but yeah, that's the story behind that photo. And I thought it's one that I wanted to share. And I also want to let you guys know, because I know a lot of you were patrons of the documentary, and the documentary is still going to happen. We had some hiccups along the way, and we will pick it up again and we will finish it. It's just, there are some things to work out is all.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll work those out and get going on. But it was just kind of an interesting, very serendipitous thing. And didn't we find out she went to ASU?
Oh, that's right.
She went to ASU because we were like asking her where she was from. She's like, "Oh, I'm from the U.S. I went to school at ASU." And we're like, "Really?"
Yeah, she studied voice at ASU, and ASU has a wonderful voice program,
which I didn't know about.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep, that's also where our violinist Stephanie Groot went and studied music. Yeah, they have a great music department there. It's actually kind of surprising.
It is because, like, I mean, I wouldn't have thought. I know that ASU is a fairly well-known school.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't have guessed that they had a good music program. I guess I just don't. There's a few schools I know that do, but there are a bunch of schools you just never know. And ASU, I didn't know that. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it was just really great. The exchange of events that happened, and it was exactly what we were hoping would happen for the documentary that we wanted to film. Just like meeting people at chance and having deep conversations with them about their opinions on, is music an actual, like, could you consider music an actual language? And I'd say most people said yes, actually, but we did get a few no's or maybes or I don't knows. And every response, though, was different. And that's what we wanted, is we wanted it was more about the responses than the black and white yes or no answer that we were looking for. So it was so exciting for us that we had just decided that we were going to go in this direction for the documentary, and then minutes later we met this amazing, very successful opera singer on the train in Berlin and got to walk around a park with her talking about the philosophy of music. It was such a beautiful experience, and cool that we now have a friend in Berlin. So
it was really cool.
We'll get to see Priya again sometime.
Yeah. Hopefully. All right. So, nice show and tell, Ash. That was a good. I liked seeing that photo.
Thank you.
That was a really cool, like, just interesting, serendipitous memory.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Okay, so I guess next we will get Troy. Give Troy a call here, since he's very ready to join us. 1 second, let me get this set up here. Okay, that's cool. Where's the thing? Here it is. Let's see if he answers.
Go figure.
So mute that so you guys don't have to hear it.
I'm going to take a bite of this burrito.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Well,
Hey.
I'm sorry. I'm not. I haven't used Skype in a while, so I apologize. Can you see me?
Almost. Not yet.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. Do I do that?
So I think there's a little camera guy somewhere.
Oh, hang on. I bet I do that.
Hey.
And then you see me.
There you are. I'll fix Ashley's video here in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes
All right.
the video goes.
You got me?
We do.
All right.
Hello.
Hi, Troy.
Hello, world.
It's nice to see your face.
I was supposed to shave, but I didn't. I apologize.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
figured since it was Christmas, I got the gray, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'tis the season for gray
Tis the
beards.
season,
I got mine here too. So.
Hey, but it's been a good day so far. My Titans won. My Cowboys won.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what our friend Virginia just said. Go Titans. So, all right. Right on, Titans.
All right. How's it going,
So what's
Troy?
up in the world of you guys?
Well, I have a burrito, so I'm pretty excited about that. So this day's going
that's
great.
good. I can't see you. Are you like hiding from the public, or?
I've turned into a ghost, so I live out kind of in the middle of nowhere, which is sometimes shows its true colors on the podcast, and my video goes astray, and sometimes my audio goes astray, but mostly it works all right. But I think it'll come back in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Right, Ed?
Well, hopefully, yeah. Sometimes it does, but at least as long as you can hear her, that's okay.
I can hear her, and you look very comfortable, Ed. So
Cool.
Should I restart my video, Ed?
Give it a go.
Should I restart my whole phone or just the?
Sure, restart your whole phone. Why not?
All right. You'll still hear me, but
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing okay, Troy. We're hanging in there. We've got this kind of crazy setup, as you can see, so we could still do podcasts that we started this year. We just did a show yesterday. with this setup, and it worked really well. So,
Well, that's cool. I'm glad to see. I know that this has been a rough year for all us musicians, so it's kind of nice that something good has come out of it.
Yeah. What's the year been like for you? Recent announcements aside.
Well, I mean, the company that besides songwriting, I mean, because I don't do a whole lot of playing that much right now, but except for songwriting, I mean, the company that I work for out of Texas doing music beds like jingles and things, it's been fine. It's been slow. Commercials, I'm in the commercial world, and commercials, it was really tough for about 4 months, but it's starting to come back.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I'm just waiting for somebody to record one of my songs and make me rich so I can retire.
I know, right? That's the dream, I guess. That's what
that is the dream. Just sitting around playing golf and getting mailbox money.
Right. Right.
Well, I think you're on your way. We heard that you just got your song cut by Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, and she actually sang it on her TV show on Tuesday.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
So that was really cool. I kept waiting to see if she was going to sing it, and it was very cool. I mean, she's a Texas girl, and just like Leanne Rimes, who also recorded it. And so, I mean, it's been I mean, even though it's a nationwide song, if you're in Texas, you know who Vince Vance and the Valiants are. So, so.
Yeah, I've heard this again. I've heard this story about the song a few times from Ashley, but I figured, hey, let's have the guy who co-wrote it on. We figured that, and let's kind of hear about it.
I like the fact that I can see myself drinking a beer.
I love it.
Oh man.
Well, I was going to tell the story, the full story, and I gave kind of a little teaser about it, Troy, but I know there's like a whole thing involved from start to finish with All I Want for Christmas Is You, and I figured since you're coming on the show, maybe you want to tell it yourself.
I can tell the full story. It actually started before I joined the Valiants. Back in, I guess, about 1985, and I had a girl dump me, and her name was Tammy. So shout out Tammy. And so I started writing this song. I'd always wanted to write a Christmas song, and initially it was called "Christmas Just Ain't Christmas Without You" because it was a sad song, and we were still good friends, and at the time she had just lost her job. And we were on the phone, and she was saying she was upset she couldn't buy her family this, her sister this, blah blah blah. And then she made just this weird comment. She said, even though we're broke up and blah blah blah, you've still been such a good friend, I wish I could get you something. And in my head popped in, well, gee, All I Want for Christmas Is You. And that's when I changed the title. Okay, so I couldn't finish. I mean, I just had a piece of this song. I just had this piece of this song, and I just couldn't finish it. I was going back and forth in my head. So fast forward 2 years, and I joined the Valiants. So then a year later, we're in Hershey Park, Pennsylvania in August, and it is just so hot. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, I bet.
And I came to Vince, and I said, I have this song. I've got this Christmas song I said 2 years ago. I said, I can't do heads or tails with it. I said, you want to write it with me? I said, it's kind of an old 50s tune. And that's what the Valiants were. We were like a 50s, 60s show band. And he said, well, play it for me. So I played it for him. And we sat there and wrote the whole thing. This was in August of '88. So we wrote it. So we were heading down to Effingham, Illinois. And we got there. and we rehearsed it with Lisa, who is the girl that's singing it, because we had 3 girls, and she just had the best voice. You know, nothing against the other girls, but she just had the best voice. And so we played it that night in Effingham, Illinois. This guy comes up to us. His name was John. I'm sorry, John. I can't remember your last name. And he said, "What are you going to do with the song?" And we said, "Well, we're going to, do a little recording at my studio in Denton and release it." And he goes, "Well, if you could record it anywhere you want, where would you record it?" And just jokingly, I said, "Oh, I'd go to Nashville," right? A week later, he calls us up. He goes, "I've convinced James Stroud to record this song," right? And we're like going, "You're kidding, right?" So we go to Nashville. James Stroud not only produces it, he played drums on it.
Ooh.
And at the time, he was the biggest producer in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
And so we bring it back to Texas, and we go to KSCS, which was the biggest country station at the time in Dallas. And I can't remember the guy's name, and he's probably glad I can't, because he looked at us and he said, "No more Christmas classics." He goes, "They've all been written." So we thought, crap. Well, Ron Chapman, who was a bigwig in Dallas and a bigwig in the country, he heard it and he said, "I'll play it and let's just see what happens." So he plays it. He gets this unbelievable response. He calls us up and he goes, "People love it. Where can they buy it?" And we didn't make any copies of it. We're like going, oops.
Uh-oh.
So we immediately press a 45, this is in 1988. And so we press a 45, then in 1989 we make a whole album, and then it started playing on the radio, and it just kind of caught on, and it's done well. I mean,
Wow.
it's kind of been overshadowed a little bit by Mariah Carey, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's so it goes.
I try to be nice when I say Mariah Carey. I'm not gonna. It's Christmas, so I'm gonna be nice.
Wow, that's a heck of a
But anyway,
journey.
that's the true story about how that song came about. So
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's super cool.
What other songs did you like? What other stuff did you write with Vince Vance and the Valiants that you really liked? Like, what other kind of songs did you love?
on that album, the Christmas album, Vince and I wrote. We wrote. "Merry Christmas to You." Then I also had 2 other songs on there that I wrote. One called "Christmas Time in Texas," and one called "Christmas Just Ain't Christmas Without You," because you got to use that title if you're not gonna,
Yeah.
And then a couple of years ago, he came to me and asked me if I would write this song with him called "Christmas State of Mind." So we wrote that. We're just kind of Christmassy, I guess. They just got through doing a really cool online Christmas show, which I actually saw live. It was kind of strange to be able to see it from Arlington, Texas.
Wow.
But so they're doing well, and like I say, Vince is just he's one of my dearest friends in the entire world, and I owe him a lot because he promoted, once we wrote that song, he promoted it, and it put us on the map, so.
That's really cool. Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Oops.
No, sorry. Just one second.
I was going to say, I'm looking at the screen. I can't see myself anymore. Did I do something?
Nope, that's me.
Oh, there I am.
So how did you find out that Kelly Clarkson cut your song this year?
That's a funny story, too. I go on Facebook one day. She released it on November 13th. So I guess it was about 2 days before she released it. I go on Facebook, and this girl who I've never met, but she's like a Facebook friend of mine. Her name is Stephanie Rabus or whatever. And she's always been a big fan of that song. And she sent me a Facebook thing, and she says, "Congratulations." And it had a picture of Kelly Clarkson on it. And I'm sitting there thinking, congratulations for what? Did I marry Kelly Clarkson? What, did I miss something? Was I that drunk? And so I clicked on it, and it said that she had recorded the song. So I thought, well, my publisher hasn't called me, so I called Vince. And he answered. I said, did you know that Kelly Clarkson recorded our song? He goes, yeah. He goes, no thanks to our publisher. I said, well, that's kind of fun. You know.
He didn't even tell you?
No, but like I say, but it was, it's very nice to see that people, especially, and I guess it means even more to me because she's from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I saw a write-up where she said she was singing it since she was a child.
Ooh.
And when I first met Leanne Rhymes was at the North Texas State Fair in Denton, where I grew up, and she was 11, and she told me, she goes, one day I'm going to record that song. And she ended up doing it. So it's just kind of nice to see Texas people kind of sticking together, Yeah. Because one day we have to secede from the Union, but
you're gonna need allies.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful song, Troy. And I mean, we were playing a show in Phoenix last year, and with a bunch of Phoenix artists, and our friends Carol Pacey and Andy Barunda were on the show with us, and I had performed the Christmas song that you and I wrote together that you forgot about, called Every Christmas, which we are going to play in the show at the end of the show today, you guys. So stick around, because Ed and I are going to do a live version of it. But and there is a live version of Every Christmas that Troy and I wrote together, but it's Witherward performing it, but it's under my name on Spotify, just to confuse you guys a little bit, which I'll drop the link in a moment to that once I find it. But anyway, Carol, I mentioned her. I was like, yeah, it's cool. My friend Troy and I wrote the song together, and he's actually a hit Christmas writer. And she's like, oh, well, what's the song? I'm like, oh, well, All I Want for Christmas Is You, but not the Mariah Carey. I don't know if you know it. She's like, that's my favorite. She's like, from Vince Vans, the Valiants. She goes, that's my favorite Christmas song, and it's the only Christmas song that I cover, because they don't even do covers. She's like, but we covered this one, and it's the only one we cover.
Well, we used to play the Valiants. We used to play in Phoenix all the time. There was a man called Tony Cervinic who was Vince's best friend, and he had a club. It was, I think the hotel was La Mancha, or it was off of Center Street or something. And so we used to play there all the time. So I'm sure there's a lot of Phoenix people that remember our name.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, they. It sounded like Carol and Andy were really big fans. So.
Yeah.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
Which is funny. It's funny because I wanted to point this out when I heard about this. Kelly Clarkson cutting the song first, and I went to see to look at the official lyric video that she put out. And like the second comment down is like, this is not a cover of Mariah's.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I saw it. Our fans are very they're very adamant. Yeah, I saw that too. It's like, this isn't a cover of Mariah. This is Vince Vance the Valiants.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. Our fan base is quite adamant.
That's good. You need that.
As they should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you what else too. As I watched that video, you know how on the right-hand side of the screen, it shows all the videos that are coming up?
Mm-hmm.
There was this video, and it was 10 years old, and it was this 10-year-old girl singing our song at a talent show.
Wow.
And I wrote down her name. Her name was Isabella Marcellini or something.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was unbelievable how good she was at 10 years old. So I can imagine she's probably 20 now. So that was 10 years ago. So I can imagine what she's doing. But shout out to her wherever you are.
Wow. That's really cool.
That's cool.
It must feel pretty good, right? Like when you see
it really does. I never get tired of hearing it on the radio,
Mm-hmm.
because it's, yeah, Ashley, we've written so many songs together. It just gets to your heart when you hear something and people appreciate, one of your songs,
Yeah, especially when it's timeless and you hear a 10-year-old singing it, you're like, oh, okay, I've
Well, yeah,
left something that's going to live on.
last year was the 30th anniversary of this song. So, 30 years. This is the 31st year.
Wow.
Wow.
Geez, I've got liver damage older than that.
Wow, that's so cool.
That's such a great story, and
Yeah.
and it's so cool how it all the pieces kind of just fell into place, and hearing the start to finish of that, listening, it makes me super proud when I hear Kelly Clarkson singing it this year. I was like, that's my friend Troy.
Yeah, it really meant a lot. I think it meant, like I say, because she's from Texas, one thing.
Yeah.
But also because she's just, a big star, and
Mm-hmm.
to do that. And I thought it was really cool on her TV show when she did it, and she was explaining to people how it was a different song. And what made my day was when she said this song actually came out before Mariah Carey's, and that made my day because, because we did. We
Yep.
came out 5 years before Mariah Carey, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you so so our friend Virginia's asking, how did it get to Kelly? Was it just because Kelly grew up singing it?
I literally have no idea. I just assume because I saw a press release that she did where she said she had been singing it since she was a kid,
Hmm.
and she's, I guess, what, 30 something, I guess. And so I would assume she was probably 10 or 11, probably when she, first heard it in Texas. Cause I think she's from what, like Burleson or Texas or somewhere in that Metroplex area.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I say, when it first came out, even before it went nationwide, it was huge in Texas. So if you're from Texas, like Leanne Rimes or Kelly Clarkson, you heard it on the radio constantly before it went nationwide. So
Interesting. Yeah, maybe she just remembered it and was like, hey, I want
I
to
just
sing
assumed because she put in her press release, she goes, I've been singing it since I was a child. So
Yeah.
So
Well, one of the things
I'm thinking she should record one of our songs that we write in the future.
Yeah, you should send her, be like, hey, Kelly, if you liked this one so much, here's some other stuff that I wrote with
Hey,
Ashley
we have songs
Norton.
that don't mention Christmas. Come on.
Well, I have, one of the things we like to do on this show is really pull back the curtain and unveil the process behind the music. And
Right.
I'm wondering if you can share with our listeners an insight to the publishing world. Like, how does that work? Does Kelly Clarkson contact your publisher to get the rights to publish it, or do you pitch? Does your publisher send stuff out? Like, can you explain a little bit about that process, whether it pertains to this song or other songs, just any information you might want to share?
As far as to this song, I assume she just decided to do it, but all she had to do was, when there's a thing called first release rights, so if we had never released the song, then they would have to ask for our permission. But because it's been out there, she can record it, and all she has to do is just let our publisher know that she recorded it, so we know where the money's going. As far as other things go, like here in Nashville, you got song pluggers that pitch things because this day and age, songwriters, we can write our songs, but we're only as good as a song plugger that can get them there, so they pitch them to the publishers and to the artists, and It's just kind of a scale of, jumping through hoops, I guess.
Is it all about kind of like who you know?
It
like
is
the
about
kind
who
of...
you know. Yeah. It is a clique. Without a doubt, it is a clique.
Mm-hmm.
And the trick is to be part of the clique, because of the fact that album cuts don't really make anybody any money anymore because of just, because of how you can download anything pretty much for free. If it's not on the radio, you're not going to make a lot of money. So, everybody is circling the wagons and scrambling to, to keep their little niche. And so breaking in, it's not as easy as it was years ago, but I always say, songwriters have to die and new ones have to come in. So, I'm just waiting for that moment. When they get to the bottom of the barrel, I'm there. I'm right there. Just scrape me up and take a couple of songs. I'm ready to go.
Well, you're one of the most prolific songwriters I know, Troy, and you just churn out, in my opinion, what should be hit after hit after hit. And I know most people could only dream of even having one hit. So it's pretty incredible that you get to experience this moment of someone cutting this song over and over again. And also, I mean, your catalog runs so deep, and it's amazing for me that I get to write some of those songs with you.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of my catalog has your name on it.
Yeah, how many songs do you think we wrote together in Nashville?
If I had to guess, somewhere around 30 or 40, I'm guessing.
Wow. In my head, it's like 100, but it's probably more like 30 or 40. Yeah.
Well, it could be 100. I don't know. I'm thinking of the ones that we demoed. So you're right. We probably have another 50 we never demoed.
Yeah. I there are definitely some favorites in there. I mentioned earlier, but Witherword cut one of our songs. Witherword cut "Burn the Roses" and put it on an album, and did a little music video for it. And then there's some favorites of ours that I still play. One of them is "When I Grow Up." Do you remember?
I love that song.
I like that song.
It's still one of my favorite songs we ever did.
Me too. And I think it was one of the first. Well, the first I think was "Hanging Out, Holding On, Hungover."
Hungover, yeah. Yeah, well, we got off on a good foot.
Yeah, I was like, this guy is cool.
That was the first song. That was literally the first song that you brought me, and we wrote it. That was your idea, and we wrote that. That was very, very funny.
Yeah.
So how did you two meet? I don't know if I've ever heard that story.
I guess that was through Grant or Johnny, one of the two of them.
It was through Johnny Garcia, our friend Johnny Garcia.
But you wrote with Grant Reif or Rife or whatever his last name.
I know Grant.
Yeah. Grant and I also wrote some great songs together. He's a really good songwriter. So yeah, and I know you guys were writing also some really wonderful songs.
Yeah, we've written several songs.
Yeah.
That one that I said, "You go folk yourself."
Yeah, that song is amazing.
That's cool.
But I think it was, I was writing with Johnny, and he said, you need to go write with Troy Powers. He's a brilliant writer, and I know you guys would have amazing writing chemistry. And he was right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he really was. Yeah, I mean, from the word go, we hit it off very well as writers.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you talked about one of the Christmas songs we wrote, but the other one we wrote, "Santa Claus and Camouflage," I still think is a great song. So
I've heard about that song.
Well, I'm just putting it out there. If you guys go on a Christmas tour,
we should do that song. Actually, I have something to show you. Give me 1 second. I swear this is going to be worth it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know what she's going to go get. Yeah, you're going to like this. Yeah, I'd heard a lot about you.
Can we talk about her why she's not there?
Well, I just know I'd heard a lot about you, but I hadn't. And we played a few of your songs
too. I mean, you guys, I'm so proud of, I mean, you guys go overseas and everything, and I mean, it's just, I when I first moved to Nashville, I was lucky enough to go on some USO tours.
Oh, nice.
And it was the greatest. It was the greatest time of my life.
Yeah.
You know. So.
That's awesome.
Oh, she's back. We can't talk about her anymore.
Well, I'm back, and I have something to show you. And I know some of you only are listening, so we'll put a photo of this in the show notes. But if you're watching live, then you'll be able to see what I'm gonna bring out is my Camouflage Santa Claus.
Look at that.
I knew that's what she was going to go get.
I don't know if Troy even knows this, or maybe I told you. I'm certain you wouldn't remember.
No,
but
I don't know about what that is. No, I
this
do not.
is the entire inspiration behind that song that we wrote.
You
Camouflage.
gotta be kidding me.
I'm serious. When I was living in Nashville, we have these friends in a band called M Bird, Megan Birdsole, and then our friend Michael Smith. I had a song that I wrote with Johnny Garcia. You might remember this song, Troy. It was called Redneck Liberation.
Oh yeah, I remember that song.
Yeah. So there's a song about camouflage everything, like camo britches, camo boxers, camo everything is the line of the song, and it's talking about a redneck because just everything he owns is camouflage. So they thought that this line killed them. Like they thought this was the most brilliant line we'd ever written, and they absolutely loved it. And so when it was around Christmas time, and they were in the store, Walgreens or whatever, and they saw this camouflage Santa Claus, and they bought it and left it at my doorstep. And I was like, Camouflage Santa Claus, what a great song line. And then I was like, Troy, Camouflage Santa Claus, you want to write it? And you're like, yeah, I want to write it. And I still have this Camouflage Santa Claus, and he makes an appearance every single year.
That's amazing because I never knew where you came up with that idea. That is so cool.
I didn't know Emberd gave that to you.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. You wouldn't expect that.
That's the last thing I would expect them to give you for any reason or occasion.
They just loved it. The
That's
camouflage thing said it was Christmas, so
it is a good line.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Now I learned the history of one of our songs.
I'm just gonna leave him right here in the frame for the rest of the show.
I think the first time I saw him might have even went like last year or something. I don't think I'd ever seen him before.
Yeah.
At your old place with Brad.
Yeah. He was there.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, the song basically writes itself. It's funny because you don't remember every Christmas, and I don't remember Camouflage Santa Claus. I mean, I remember it and I remember writing it, but I don't remember, like, I couldn't sing it to save my life right now. So I need to find that demo.
Yeah, I can send it to you. In fact, I looked up every Christmas after we talked, and I thought, wow, that's a really cool song.
It is a cool song. I love it, and you know what? I actually sent it to Johnny Garcia recently. So I was like, "Do you remember Troy and I writing this song?" And I sent him the live version that I did with Witherword, and he said, "No, I don't remember this, and this is one of the best original Christmas songs I've ever heard."
Well, cool. I'm playing golf with him and one of his sons on Tuesday, so I'll make sure to ask him why he hasn't told me how great I am.
You know, he talks all kinds of things about people behind their back, but only the good things.
Yeah,
right.
You know. So what are you guys doing for Christmas?
Staying in, I think. Just, I don't know.
It's a Corona Christmas.
Yeah.
Corona Christmas. That's the next Christmas song we should write, Troy.
You're going to see a lot of those next year for sure.
Yeah.
Quarantine Christmas.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're already
12 days of quarantine.
Yep.
Like love gave to me.
Yeah, I'm just staying in. I think, still some stuff, like some editing stuff for the podcast and everything, but yeah.
I'm going to Arizona.
You are.
Yeah, I'm driving in on tomorrow. Yeah, driving to Arizona tomorrow with my sister.
Now, how long a drive is that from San Diego? You're in San Diego right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego. It's only about 6 hours, so it's not too bad. And we'll do social distancing things outside with our parents. That's the great thing about having of being on the West Coast is especially during the holidays and especially during Corona stuff, you can be outside and in a safe distance from your parents, because my mom in particular has some health issues, so she can't really get near anybody right now while she's working through those, and so it's nice to at least be able to wave hello from her to her outside.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Like my mother, she's 88. She has heart problems, but like I say, I limit where I go, so that way I can always be over there when she needs me. So
Yeah.
That's nice. So you're doing Christmas with her?
Oh yeah, her and my brother Michael, and we just kind of just one big happy little family.
That's cool.
That's nice. And are you writing a lot these days?
Yeah, actually I am. Do you remember Nick Riggins? Did you ever meet him?
I don't. That doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, he was with the SWAT group. It may have been right towards the end, but he's coming over tomorrow, and we're writing a song. And did you ever write with Billy McKnight?
No, I never wrote with
Billy?
him.
He was what was her name? Minnie McCready. They were an item years ago. But anyway, Billy McKnight and me and Johnny wrote a few songs together, and they came out really good. He just sent me copies of them. I'll have to send them to you.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, because they're really good. But yeah, I'm trying to stay busy. I mean, a lot of people have kind of shut down, but I haven't written with Dave Gibson in a while. You remember Dave, right?
Yeah, I remember Dave.
Yeah, but he and I, before the quarantine, we wrote several cool songs. So trying my best, trying to become rich before I go broke. I've got this broke thing. I've got poverty down to a science. So I'm getting really bored with it. When you're bored with poverty, you got to try something new. So I thought, why not try being rich? Because that might be kind of fun. I don't know.
That's a great idea.
Yes,
Wow.
I'm working on it.
What a concept. Oh yeah, does Dave have Dave Gibson have a publishing company now?
I don't know who Dave is dealing with in publishing right now, to tell you the truth. I know that I don't really know. I know. Have you seen his puppet thing he's doing?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you've got to Google search the Waterhole Bunch. He's got this whole puppet thing he's doing, and it's hysterical. It came from a song he wrote years ago when he was with, I can't remember what publishing company he was with, and he had already written Ships That Don't Come In, and he had written In the Corner of My Mind There's a Jukebox, and they were asking him for something, and he got mad or something. He told me this story. So he sat out on the deck, and he wrote this frog song, right, just to piss him off, right? Well, the frog song now, 10 years or whatever, many years later, has become this iconic song, and he met up with somebody that wanted to do this puppet thing, and now they've got this big puppet thing called the Waterhole Bunch. You've got to check this out.
Oh my God, I'm on the website. It's amazing.
Huh. Yeah, it's hysterical. It's just so funny,
Yeah, go to thewaterholebunch.com.
Yeah, the Waterhole Bunch. Yeah, just Google search the Waterhole Bunch, and it'll come up.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to dive deeper into this
Dave
after the
is
podcast.
a character, without a doubt,
That's awesome.
Yeah, with Savannah Music Group. Yeah, I know Virginia Canyon's watching right now. I know she knows Dave, and It looks like,
okay.
yeah, it looks like they've
Oh,
got
okay.
Voyager guitar here too. So
Sorry, I just noticed that I don't have my reading glasses on. I just noticed that people are like saying things over here.
oh yeah, we got live comments happening.
Yeah, the frog song with Savannah Music Group. Yeah, okay. See, I'm not as young as I used to be.
Well, I'm excited to write with you soon, Troy. We just picked a date to do a Zoom or Skype write in January, and
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I mean, we've written some great songs, and there's more songs to write.
absolutely. Maybe we'll get on a three-way write with Ed here soon.
Yeah.
That would be great. I would love to.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. That's like,
Yeah,
seriously, that's the thing I miss.
Fantastic if we could all get together and do one big ride. That would be fantastic.
I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that. And that's the thing I miss the most about being in Nashville is that exchange of writing. It's almost like, instead of, hey, we should all get together and have a beer, we should all get together and write a song.
That's true.
Well, you know what? I mean, I grew up in Texas, and that's what got me to Nashville. Was when I was in Texas, I would have all these ideas, and there was, it was just nobody to write with.
Mm.
I mean, I lived in Dallas, and Austin was like, the Mecca music thing there, and they all hate Nashville. I mean, and they make no bones about it. It's like,
Yeah.
But so when I would come to Nashville, I would meet up with these people, and I guess it was the guy that really made me decide to move up here. His name's Ron Fairchild. He was the keyboard player for the Oak Ridge Boys.
Ooh.
And he said something to me years ago. He said, he goes, if you break down on the side of the road, are you going to call someone that's 10 minutes away or someone that's 500 miles away? And that always stuck in my head, because I thought, if I'm going to be a songwriter, I got to be here,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's always stuck in my head, what he said, because he's right. It's like I could sit around in Texas and do what I, tried to do, but and I was flying up to Nashville all the time. But the fact is, no one cares if you're going home. If you live here, then so.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I did it. Moved up in a snowstorm, January 16th of 2003.
Wow.
That's funny, because when I first I don't think I moved up in a snowstorm, but when I got there, there was like immediately a snowstorm. And I was driving I was in the studio in Murfreesboro, and I lived in downtown Nashville, and I had to drive back from Murfreesboro in like the biggest snowstorm that Nashville had ever seen up to that point, or something like that. And I remember getting a call from Roy Wooten on my way home, and I was totally scared, because I'm like, I don't know, I've never driven, I'm from Arizona, I don't drive through the snow. So I was stuck in it took me 3 hours to get home. Normally it would take me like 25 minutes. So it was real, the traffic was real bad. And I got this call from Roy Wooten. I'll never forget that, because I'm brand new to Nashville. If you guys don't know Roy Wooten, he's an absolutely just incredible musician. There's a band called the Wooten Brothers. It's him and all of his brothers. Victor Wooten.
I know that
He
band.
goes by Future Man.
Yeah, he goes by Future Man, right. And his brother's Victor Wooten, who's arguably one of, if not the most, amazing / famous bass players in the world. And Roy's like calling me on the phone. I'm like, I have arrived in Nashville because I've got this like crazy amazing drummer calling me just to make sure I'm making it home okay in this snowstorm. Like, here I am in Music City. And it was a real moment for me. I'll never forget that.
I'll tell you my Ashley story. She buys this washer and dryer thing that stacks, and we moved it for her. And about
Ed knows that dryer.
You remember that?
Ed knows exactly
Was that in your Germantown apartment, right?
I mean, it about killed us. We were trying to take this thing down a couple of steps. It was that place you lived downtown, and I thought we were gonna all die.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I didn't know that thing was so heavy. I mean, it was one of those washer dryers that stacked on top of each other, but the problem was it was a full size. It wasn't like one of the small ones. It was full. Yeah, I remember that well, and I didn't know what because someone was selling and posted on Craigslist, and I was like, oh, I need that, and
you don't mind it. You guys can move it, right? No problem. Oh yeah, no problem.
Just a washer and dryer. We got this. That thing was crazy.
I tell you. Hey, life in the music business.
Yeah, I did talk about figuring out how to live like a poor person. That's what I've been doing in the music business for a long time. I'm great at it.
Got it into a science,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, used washer and dryers and almost killing your friends in the process just to get it home.
Exactly.
It's part of the deal.
Exactly. So, you guys planning any trips to Nashville anytime in the future?
Gosh, I would love to do a writing trip. I would love to come to Nashville, and I've been saying this for a couple of years, and I haven't been able to make it happen yet. But I would love to just go in for a week and do the thing where like I book myself solid all week long with lots of writing sessions with you, Troy, and Johnny and Kellyanne, and like just my favorite writers, and then hopefully some new writers too, and like just that's it, and that's what I want to go in and do so badly. But I don't know when that's going to happen now. So I think I'll kind of wait out and see what this vaccine's
Speaking of
doing.
Kellyanne, have you talked to her? I haven't talked to her in the longest time.
Kellyanne Hochter is another brilliant songwriter friend of ours.
She's a brilliant songwriter.
It's incredible.
And the three of us wrote some great songs, but I haven't talked to her in forever.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her in a while either. I think she bought a house in Nashville, and she started doing something with her PT, her physical therapy business, or something related to that. And I have not talked to her in a long time.
Physical therapist thing, yeah.
Yeah, but she pops into my Facebook page every once in a while. She'll tag me in posts with memories of her. Nicole Boggs and I kind of had a little trio songwriter. We would do our rounds together a lot, the three of us, Kellyanne, Nicole Boggs, and myself, and we would sing harmony on each other's stuff, and we were just really good friends, so it was a lot of fun. So she tags me in those photos stuff, but I don't know if she's writing or not, and I hope she still is, because she really is something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she really is. I mean, like I say, she and I wrote some really good songs, and the three of us wrote some really good songs. You kind of, this year has just been kind of, I've lost I've lost track of a lot of people this year because of just how crazy it's been, I mean, of course, Johnny and I, we're best friends, so we stick together, but it has been a crazy year as far as songwriters and how you've just kind of lost. I mean, Greg Crow, I used to write a lot of songs with him, and we kind of lost touch, it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully next year we'll all reconnect,
Yeah, I definitely plan on making it out there for and making this happen. So you'll be the first person I contact, Troy.
I hope so. What about you, Ed? You coming out?
I don't know. If it's gonna be a writing trip, it's maybe.
Well, you guys have a place to stay. I got a big place, so.
Thank you.
That's
we will
kind.
Take you up on that. That's one of the things we used to hear a lot on the road.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
Yeah, people are always surprised when we show up.
In the bedrooms, and I've got beer in the fridge. What more do you want?
That's all I need. And I know you've got coffee.
I have coffee and I have beer. What more do you want?
Yeah, we would always get people offer for us to stay in their homes sometimes on the road, and one of the we get this comment probably more than any other comment is, well, you guys actually showed up. I mean, I offer people to stay here all the time and nobody actually takes me up on it. And we're like, well, we do.
Yeah.
So just remember that, friends. If we're ever on tour and you've offered us a place to stay, we are going to show up.
You show up, we write a song, and we'll just record it in the studio here, and then we'll retire rich, right? Isn't that how it works?
All of that sounds amazing.
Pretty sure that's how it works.
There's a #1 song waiting to happen.
Well, what do you think, Ed? I'm down for this plan.
Yeah, I'll think about it for sure.
It's a date, Fat. It's a date. The three of us have to write,
That 2021, when everyone's vaccinated, we're coming.
Exactly. There you go. Have needle will travel.
Yeah.
We sure do appreciate you spending some time with us, Troy. It's been really fun talking to you.
Yeah.
We're finally seeing you.
Well, I've had a blast. I really appreciate this. This has been a lot of fun. This is kind of my first podcast, so it's kind of cool.
We did have one more question for you, though, before we let you go. And we ask everybody on the podcast this question, but if you were going to have any kind of a superpower, what superpower would you have?
If I could have any superpower, what superpower would I have?
Yeah, anything.
I would like to be able to fly.
Good choice.
I think that would be so fun.
Yeah. I agree. That's mine too.
I mean, it'd be kind of nice to read minds. It'd be kind of nice to do this and that. But I just think as a songwriter, you dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it would be so fun to be able just to fly.
Yeah, I agree.
That's Ed's choice too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to pick one, you may as well pick the one that's going to bring you the most amount of fun.
True.
Well, yeah, I just think how cool would it be if you could just open up your arms and just fly.
Take off, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about checking your guitar on airplanes
exactly.
anymore.
I just strap it on my back and just fly. Okay, so if you guys could do it, which one would you choose?
I would choose flying. That's mine as well. I think I like the freedom. I like the freedom of it.
Yeah.
What
about you, Ashley?
I had to change mine. Mine was like involving. I was basically like a canary. I wanted to be a canary where I could like sing people to death, and if they were bad or like break in. I don't know.
The evil singer.
Yeah, mine's evil.
I hit the high note. You collapse.
We have people come on the show and they're like, I want to have the superpower of making the world a good place, and I'm like, no, I just want to sing people to death.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, world peace. That's a great thing. What do you want in the world? World peace. But really, if you could really just do one superpower, why wouldn't you want to just fly? How cool would that be?
I'm slowly getting convinced of this. Yeah, maybe like I'm thinking too hard about it. It's just flight. That's that simple.
Yeah, it's just fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, well,
I'll join your superhero team.
I'm a simple man.
Oh boy. All right. Well, again, thanks for joining us, Troy. We're so glad we got to chat with you.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the cut again, man. That's some great news.
Well, thank you. It has been a real pleasure, and I hope to see both of you in Nashville real soon.
All righty.
I hope so too. Thank you, Troy.
Thanks, Troy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
That's Troy Powers.
Man, that guy's cool.
Right?
I've never met him before until today.
That's so funny to me. I could have sworn that you did. It's funny.
It's because you talked about him so much.
Yeah.
I felt like I had met him already.
Yeah, it's funny that I wouldn't, that with the three of us hadn't done a songwriting session in Nashville together.
Yeah.
It's funny to me that we never made that happen, but
I think it's, well, you know me. I'm pretty insular. Especially was back then.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a little different now, but
Yeah.
back then for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So that's an interesting story. I mean, I know his cut story is quite specific, but honestly, I think they all are. I think this is kind of how it goes with these getting a song cut stories. They're all unique, and they're all kind of a little bit the right place, the right time, a little bit who your publisher is, which is also right place at the right time, and a lot of hard work. And obviously, you got to have the talent to do it. So if you guys are looking to get songs cut, or you're more interested in learning about the publishing world, I would suggest start doing some research on publishers and what other people are doing, and get song pluggers was a great tip that Troy threw out there, because having a song plugger is really gonna make the difference for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we had Roland Folensby on not too long ago. If you guys missed that episode, I would recommend taking a listen. We're on Spotify, Crimes Against Folk, and he gave some very, very good advice on getting songs cut in Nashville as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's nice to hear it from the perspective of the actual songwriter this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially with Christmas cuts.
Yeah, because apparently he's written a lot of Christmas songs.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Well, and just a quick announcement, we're not going to have a live show for the next 2 weeks. We are taking a little bit of a break for the holidays.
Yep.
Because, it's Christmas weekend, and then it's New Year's weekend. So yeah, we're just taking a little break. That being said, we do have a little surprise episode, which I guess is not such a surprise anymore since I just said it, that we're going to release. So look out for that.
But we'll also have stuff on Patreon. So if you want to continue getting some fun videos and more stories and stuff like that, if you're not already a patron, check out our Patreon. We're going to put a bunch more stuff up there throughout the break. So we'll still have stuff going up there. But yeah, there won't be any sort of main podcast episodes for the next couple of weeks. We'll be back, believe January 10th will be the next one.
Yeah.
January 10th. So, but now we'll do a quick little video highlight. And I picked this one because
why?
We had been discussing.
I know why.
We had been discussing how this song had been performed. This is Ashley. I think right around when you had learned this, I guess, or relearned it.
It was right when I used to cover it, and then Dolores from the Cranberries.
Yeah.
She passed away.
That's right.
Right. I think, right when I did this, and I decided to just do a little tribute, since I loved this song so much. And it's a Cranberries song, and it's not one of their hit songs, but it's on one of their bigger albums. And I'd always absolutely loved the song. So I decided I think we were staying with our friends in Loveland, Colorado. And I just decided to throw my camera up and do a little video of me singing this song. And Ed and I have been performing it live basically ever since.
Yeah.
And
I like
apparently, yeah, I love it. I know you love it too, but apparently I had been doing it in the time signature of this song that you're about to hear is in 3/4. And I apparently have been doing it in 4/4 live, but the problem is I can't get 3/4 out of my head. And sometimes I go to start the song and Ed's like, "You're doing it in 3/4." And I'm like, "Why can't I hear it in 4/4 anymore?" And it turns out it's because the song's actually in 3/4, and I'd been doing it wrong the whole time, but this video is actually right. So you'll hear it in 3/4, although we might still continue playing it in 4/4 because we kind of like it in 4/4.
Yeah. So, this is Ash playing Dreaming My Dreams by the Cranberries.
My perspective in every way. These things count to mean so much to me. Into my face. dreaming my dreams with you. I'll be dreaming my dreams with you. And there's no other place that I lay down my face, dreaming my dreams with you. It's out there, it's out there, it's out there. If you want me, I'll be here. It's out there, it's out there, it's out there. If you want me, I'll be here. I'll be dreaming my dreams with you. I'll be dreaming my dreams with you. And there's no other place that I lay down my face, dreaming my dreams with you. I'll be dreaming my dreams with you. I'll be dreaming my dreams with you. And there's no other place that I lay down my face, dreaming my dreams of you. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Okay, switch back. All right. So yeah, that was Ash playing "Dreaming My Dreams" by the Cranberries, and I was just mentioning, I had the reason we had been again kind of disagreeing on this particular song is because the very first time she played it with me, she played it in 4/4. So I assumed that was the time signature it was played in. I didn't even bother going back to listen to the I didn't go back to listen to the actual studio recording. I was like, well, that's how it must go. And she's like, well, that was your first mistake.
Yeah, I'm assuming I did it right.
But then I also want to mention that I think I actually kind of liked it better in 4/4, just because there were a couple of songs a couple of covers we do where I just like the way that she does them better. Like they're just, I don't know what it is. I think there's something that when you hear a song, there's something in your brain that's like, this is how it should go. And I mean, that's why we do Drive My Car the way we do. It's just like, this is how it's supposed to go. You know what I mean? Like, and Love is a Battlefield is another version I mentioned again. I can't listen to the original version of that song because I'm like, I think the way we do it is way better. And I don't even want to listen to the original now.
Okay, I've got the 4/4 in my head. Are you ready? I'm going to sing it for you guys just so you can hear the difference. If you don't know time signatures, you're probably like, what are they talking about? But this is why it's different. This is 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the things you said to me today change my perspective in every way. Hey, these things count to mean so much to me. Into my faith, you and your baby. It's out there. It's out there. It's out there if you want me. I'll be here. It's out there. It's out there. It's out there if you want me. I'll be here. Anyway, I won't play through the whole thing. I just wanted you guys to kind of get a feel for why it's kind of an interesting it's kind of an interesting example of time signatures in general, of how much it can change the song. And sometimes it doesn't change it that much at all, and sometimes it's a huge difference, you know?
Yeah, and it's funny because, like,
1, 2, 3, 1, and this would be 3, 4 again.
yep.
All the things you said to me today changed my perspective in every way. Anyway, just kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like them both. I'm more. I suppose I could say I'm more used to the 4/4
Right.
version, but I like them both. You know,
I wonder if I could. Oh God, that would be
do
so
half
hard.
in one way.
Oh my God, or like the chorus do do the verses in 3/4 and then the choruses in 4/4 and then jump
Sure.
back to 3/4.
Sure
That
you can.
That sounds so difficult. Like to go back and forth. I mean, maybe I could do it. I just did it, so maybe I could do it once. Whew.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll try this sometime.
That's funny.
Yeah, 4, 5. You do like the 4/4. Interesting.
Yeah. I think we discussed, I think, shortly after, like, it feels like it has more space.
Yeah.
The melody has more space in a 4/4 version. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because, like, the way he sang it, I'm like, man, this must have been the way she's always done it. Because it was like, like everything was spaced out like perfectly.
Well, and
I'm like,
clearly
oh my
that
gosh.
that felt better to me to do it in 4/4.
Yeah.
And which is why I switched to it. But then I hear the original recording and I can't get it out of my head. So even though I kind of like it better in 4/4, sometimes it's really hard for me to get the 3/4 out of my head because that is how she did it.
Did you ever cover it and like on your solo before, like, we started playing together back here in Arizona? Did you ever cover it that way?
I don't remember. I don't know. I mean, I used to play that song in my bedroom, you know, when the Cranberries were one of the first bands I listened to that really inspired me to become a songwriter and a guitar player. So I would sit, I had 3 books. I had a Sarah McLachlan like chord book and Jewel and the Cranberries, and I would sit in my bedroom and just run through them, the whole albums, and just figure out how to play every song. And luckily the Cranberries have fairly simple chord structures, so I could do a lot of that stuff. And this song in particular, I mean, it's 4 chords, so I would do it alone in my bedroom. So I don't remember, but I never really recorded it, or I'm not even sure if I did it live or not. So up until when I did that little version when Dolores passed away. So I don't remember, but yeah, Gert Jensen just had a really interesting point. He said the song sounds great in both 4/4 and 3/4, which is rare, and you're absolutely right about that. Absolutely right.
It is rare. That doesn't happen all too often.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys all have really good points here. I mean, yeah, it sounds a little more melodic in 4/4. There's more room. It feels richer. I agree with all that. And I think that's why we like it in 4/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy, those ladies really. It was the 90s was a really cool time, I think, to be a singer songwriter, or start to learn guitar, especially as a woman, because we had a lot of really wonderful idols to look up to, including and then there was Lilith Fair, which I actually plan on doing an episode around Lilith Fair coming up here in 2021. So I'll definitely do a whole thing dedicated to all of that. And it was cool to take inspiration from a lot of those ladies.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, nice little random rant there about time signatures and women of the 90s.
All right. Well, I think that'll about do it.
Yeah, so
for today.
No, yeah, normally we do, just a reminder, we normally do our tips and tricks section right here, but we actually decided to move that into the Patreon exclusive level. And again, that's just the $5 level. So for $5 a month, we'll release 2 tips and tricks to our Patreon page where we teach you guys stuff that we do behind the curtain. So it's really unveiling a lot of our secrets, if you will, the stuff you don't normally see. And we put that exclusively on Patreon, so you'll find one of those coming up here. As well as, don't forget, we do a pre-show concert every Sunday, which thanks again, Ed, for taking today's so I could hang out with my sister a little bit. And it's just, 3 or 4 songs before every podcast. We hop on and we do a mini concert, and it's a lot of fun. We love when you guys are there and commenting, and Ed said most everyone popped in today, so that's pretty cool. And I'm glad you guys were able to join that. And and all kinds of other stuff. So it's patreon.com/crimes against folk, and we're really excited about building our community. So thank you guys for joining that.
Yep. All right. So you wanted to do the Christmas song.
I thought we should do the Christmas song because obviously we had Troy on today.
Yeah.
And I wrote this song with Troy. And also Christmas is next week, so so many reasons to play this one. But yeah, I really love the song. I'm not Christian. I'm Jewish, but I grew up celebrating Christmas, and I loved Christmas music too. I loved that time of year, especially as a kid. You don't think like, I'm Jewish, I can't celebrate Christmas. Like, you're just celebrating Christmas because it's Christmas, and that's what how our parents raised us. And I'm half Jewish. My dad's is Christian actually, but we were raised Jewish. But my mom, that's not just the only reason why we celebrated Christmas, because my mom, she has 2 Jewish parents. Her mom and her dad are Jewish, or were Jewish. They're not around anymore, but they grew up celebrating Christmas. So you don't have to be, anyway, Christmas is for everyone. Anyway, I'm telling you guys this because I rewrote the last verse of the song, which Troy doesn't know.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention it when he was on.
I forgot to tell him, and I keep forgetting to tell him, so he's going to hear our Spotify version and be like, what? Well, considering he doesn't remember writing the song at all, I think it's probably okay. But anyway, I wanted to make mention, because the verse that we wrote, that Troy and I wrote, the third verse, is about a church and a manger, and we were writing this song for the Christian community, but now I'm performing it, and I'm like, well, if I'm performing it, I want to talk about the Jewish community, and I want to talk about how every religion is welcome to celebrate, obviously, whatever you want this season, and that includes Christmas if you wanted to. So you'll hear it in the last verse. It's a rewrite, and I really love that the new verse, but the other one is really beautiful too. So you can take your pick. If Kelly Clarkson wants to cut this song, she can sing whichever verse she wants. I'll just be happy she's singing it.
Right.
But this is called Every Christmas. There's a tree in a window, decorated, shining bright. There's a dream in the children, sound asleep for the night. It's a feeling, a reminder young and old. Though the road of life keeps winding, every Christmas brings me home. Family and tradition, memories from the past, the smell of pies in the kitchen, through the distance takes me back. There is something about December I remember, brings me hope like the snow in the winter. Every Christmas brings you home. There's a history in the candles that symbolize love and light. We celebrate this miracle with a prayer for 8 nights. Here's the meaning of the season. Every religion, everyone, heaven knows that's the reason. Every Christmas brings us home. Heaven knows that's the reason. Every Christmas brings us home. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy season, winter season, whatever you guys celebrate or don't. Happiest to you.
Thanks, everybody, for joining today. Thanks to our guest, Troy Powers. Really cool chatting with him. That was super fun.
Yeah, that was fun for me to like officially have you guys meet on our podcast for the first time. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know you know all about each other, but you've never actually met.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Thanks to our producer patrons, Alice Williams. We really appreciate your support. Thanks again to EV for your sponsorship. We really appreciate it. You can find out more about them at electrovoice.com. And for our $25 and up patrons, we're going to be doing the post show right after this, real quick.
Yep.
So until then, until after the new year, have a safe Christmas, have a safe New Year's. We'll see you in 2021.
Happy seasons. things to you guys. Love you. Thank you for your support and for being here. We love you. We'll see you. Yeah. Let's close out 2020. Goodbye. 2021, here we come.
Bye, y'all.
Mwah. Bye, guys.